and welcome to Property Mastermind podcast with Hilary Saxon and Bob Anderson. This week, episode 106, 5 Essentials for Choosing the Right Joint Venture Partner. Great episode. Today we explore the ins and outs of forming successful partnerships in the world of property development. So I'm your host, Hilary Saxon. We'll be joined by Bob Anderson as usual. So let's jump into a very interesting episode 106. Welcome to episode 106, 5 Essentials for Choosing the Right Joint Venture Partner. Before we get started and before I introduce Bob, maybe I'll introduce Bob now.
Hello.
Hey Bob.
Hello, Hilary. Birthday week for you, girl.
Woohoo!
Ooh,
birthday week.
Sunday.
I
birthday.
know. We're supposed to do birthday week, which means it officially should have started yesterday.
Okay. Have I dropped the ball?
I could have dropped it myself as well.
All
Who
right.
knows? There's been some ball dropping.
Can we start it tomorrow?
Well, can't we start it today?
Okay, tonight.
We could.
This afternoon.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Officially, it's on.
It's official. Birthday
It's
week
official.
has started. Very exciting.
And Sunday's the big one.
Yeah, Sunday's the day. Going for a drink.
Maybe go for a fish.
Going to go for a fish.
That's fishing, not buy fish.
Yeah, go fishing out in the ocean.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Actually, Bob, so what about any tips or recommendations maybe on fishing? Got any?
Tips or recommendations on fishing?
Yeah.
Always use fresh bait.
Yeah.
That's why you see me out there or come home covered in mud sometimes because I've been out pumping yabbies.
I know, that is disgusting. Those things are
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, it's good bait. You know,
Yeah.
someone has to do it. Someone has to get out there and pump yabbies. And it looks like it's me.
Yeah, I don't even like creepy little things. They've got little fingers. Ugh. I don't know if you call them fingers, but I don't.
Claws will do.
I just don't like the whole live bait thing. But
Yeah, okay. Well,
anyway.
We'll get something dead for you.
Yeah, and we'll have a comp on Sunday, you and I.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
The fishing competition. I'm winning.
Well, yeah, okay. But you are a Kiwi.
Yeah,
That's a head start.
natural fisher.
Hunters and fisher people.
Fisherwoman. Fisherwoman. Alrighty, so Bob, opening up the essentials in choosing the right joint venture partners. We spend a lot of time talking about joint venture partners and finding investment partners and money partners, etc. And so I thought we could help people understand that it is necessary to have the right person working with you.
Yeah.
And we can unpack them and give out some really useful stuff there. So,
Yeah, it's good subject.
I've done the research on this. I've just chosen for our topic. We're only covering sort of when we're thinking in the lines of joint. So this is for finding the right joint venture partner, and this would be for the following scenarios:
Okay.
joint venture with a landowner.
Love those.
Yep. Joint venture with another person. Or joint venture, really, a money partner or loan partner. So
Okay.
everything we're talking about today is coming in with a focus around those three scenarios.
The JV scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
options, not other things.
No,
Although
no,
it
not
might
syndicates.
apply.
Probably applies a lot for those three you mentioned because of the close contact you're going to have with somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. So, Bob, whether you're a seasoned developer or
Could be me.
like yourself, just starting out.
Done a few seasons.
How many seasons have you done?
More than the average footballer.
Crikey, if you think there's 4 seasons in a year, if we cut it down.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I see
100. You've done 160 property development seasons.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a few seasons. A few winters, a few summers in there.
Yeah.
A couple of winters.
Winter is coming, Jon Snow. Oh, have I given away the book yet? No. Johnny Hawkins.
Oh.
He's running the Secrets of Property Millionaires Exposed. He wrote us a great email thanking us for our podcast. We always love that. Give us a raving review on Apple too, Johnny. But anyway, this is in the post to you. So
How do you get your hands on one of them?
we've got a few people wanting them at the moment. Leave some reviews on the Apple podcast.
That'd
Great.
Okay, I like it.
Right. Let's carry on. So whether you're seasoned or just starting out, it really does impact your property development having the right partner. And we're going to talk about, these are things like, we're starting off with, do you have a similar vision? Number one, you have to have a similar vision.
Okay, this is the person you're in, well, not literally, but we often say in bed with, don't we? You know, this is this person.
I bet it does happen.
Well, I'm sure it's never happened to me.
Which is it hasn't.
No, it's never. I don't. try and keep it strictly to business, I think. But so that's important. A vision.
Yeah, so that would be around, are we doing this to maximise profits? Are we doing this to create sustainable housing? There's like a massive housing issue in Australia right now. Is the reason you want to be a developer to do that? There'll be a combination, no doubt.
Yeah. So you're not sort of pushing it in different directions. Different visions can create some arguments along the way, and that's not what you want in a joint venture. That's for sure.
And I suppose, Bob, when we talk about it like that, but when we talk about it like that, you can have differing visions as long as everyone's clear,
clear on each other's vision.
And accepting of it.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to go in the same direction, ultimately. But the reasoning behind it, I guess, the person's why, that can differ.
Have you ever been in a scenario in a joint venture where people have had differing objectives?
I've tried to sort that sort of stuff out up front, and I think that's the place to do it. Not halfway through a project, and so some good open and frank discussions. There's a lot more to doing a joint venture than just finding somebody with some money or with some land who wants to jointly develop it. There's more to it than that. If it's going to, you could be with somebody easily for a couple of years, or even longer on a larger project.
It's longer than some marriages,
Some don't last 2 years.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who, but I'm sure there are some that don't last that long.
Yeah. But I think what you're trying to allude to, is that it is a relationship.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that you get on with that person.
There's a lot of decision making. I guess that's a subject that might come up during the course of our discussion, is is there a decision maker ultimately, and those sorts of things. Which
We'll see. So number 2, identifying complementary skills and expertise.
Yeah.
And accepting somebody's skills and making sure that all areas are covered in expertise and skills.
Yeah, and that has a bit to do with the two parties that come together. Let's say it's a joint venture where one party might be putting in the money, the other party putting in the work, the IP. That could be somebody, for instance, that other partner. Let's say you're the developer. It could be somebody like your doctor or your dentist, or somebody who doesn't really want to have much involvement at all. They're happy to come together, they're happy to put money in, they obviously want to be reported to and kept up to date on things, but they really don't necessarily want an involvement. But then if you do a joint venture, let's say with somebody out of our community, then often they will want some level of involvement in that.
Because they're passionate about property already. That is what they're there for, that reason.
Yeah, and you learn by doing better than you learn by listening or watching a video. So it's often the case that they do.
There's a tip there for people that have purchased courses and aren't doing anything. You learn by doing as well. You can't just buy the video.
Yeah, it's certainly the best way to learn. But so there's even different types of partners, you might say, and the level of involvement that they want.
I think that reminds me of couples that we have and have gone through the mentoring program, and we'll use Jamie and Casey. They're a great example of people with
successful couple.
Yeah, successful in property development, but play to their strengths and understand and admire each other's skills as well.
Yeah.
Jamie's so good on the detail, like he's such a detail-orientated person.
He loves talking feasibilities with me.
Yeah, exactly. And then Casey being the person who's great at connecting, and maybe they both do a little bit of it, but they follow up in their own way with the important stuff.
Yeah, you often
that they're good at.
That's probably the best sort of joint ventures, particularly if you got like two people are going to do work in it, not just one be totally passive, is to understand each other's strengths and to play to them. Because some people are quite analytical and they want to, they're good around the due diligence, the feasibility stage of it.
Yeah.
Other people might be good communicators, and so they might be good at the front end of sourcing deals, dealing with agents and buyers' agents, and even at the back end on the marketing side as well. And then that other more analytical person might take a bigger hand in the actual project management. You know, there's balance there. We see that all the time. If you had two people that are absolutely identical in skill sets, it probably wouldn't work as well, because there'd probably be some holes there too, particularly if they're not highly experienced. Better to fill the gaps with the other person.
And that's another one, sort of leading on from like skill set, and we've alluded to somebody being able, like the communicator versus the detail person, shared, or the communication skills.
Yep.
With each other is important.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you brought that up at the beginning, how the reporting's done. But communication skills and understanding each other's values. Values are so important to understand, and they're so overlooked as a, I don't know, one of...
Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, we all have all of us have a set of values that we align to. We're not all aware of them. Like, have you done your values? There are exercises you can do. In the New Property Accelerator, we go through and do values. I'm pretty sure that's in there. But when you understand what your values are, they are like your true north. They are the things that you want to do that are important to you. And when you are doing things in alignment with your values, you feel good about yourself. You're happy. You don't feel like you're pushing. You know those days that you feel like everything's hard and you're pushing and it's not easy. Often you're working against things that are important to you, like on the inside, versus those days when things are flowing. I kind of equate it to driving up a street on the one way the wrong way versus driving the right way. So things in values, everyone has honesty, integrity. They're standards, but we have other ones. We have usually around 5 driving values that are really important to us. So maybe understanding other people's values and what's important to them, and making sure that you accept that in your joint venture relationship.
Yeah, and even communication, as you said, being open. Some people tend to bottle stuff up. You know, if they're not happy, if for whatever reason, and they hold it back. Well, I probably a little bit that way myself, you know.
I believe...
I absorb a lot, but then, like, if it reaches tipping point, there's like a nuclear explosion. So,
probably not the best probably not the best way forward. But I think when you're talking about communication like that, Bob, it's when you're in a joint venture relationship. Yes, being able to say it up front earlier, before things, you know, equate that to
fester.
Exactly. It's like putting pieces of rubbish in a bag. Eventually that bag will fill up and explode. Just deal with it before it explodes. I remember working with John and Tess, they were a podcast way back, a couple doing really well in property development as well. And we did their values. I did their values with them, and then they loved it so much they did it with their kids. So each person in their family understood what was important for them. But if you look at their business, Miller Development, MILA, look at everything they do, it is always done to the best. You know, they tick every box and do everything well. When they signed up for mentoring, flew up from Victoria for dinner to meet us. Yeah. They just do things very, very well. And so for them to do that was a no-brainer. Let's do our values for our business, what's important. They even did the SCARF model, and that is a neuroscience-based way of understanding what happens when you meet people and making sure that you have what's important to people and the right blend of that in a business. That
SCARF model, that's David Rock did that.
Well done, Bob.
I know that. You studied under David Rock.
I did.
With him, under him, I guess you could say, because he's a guru.
Yeah, well, no, he did the lecture that I went to on that one in a small room. Actually, it was actually amazing. So SCARF stands for status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. And in every interaction that we have, we immediately measure ourselves against. Our brain does it naturally. We don't control it. We measure ourselves against another person hierarchy-wise. That's status. Then we also like certainty. So you know that our podcast lasts for anything between 20 and 35 minutes. And by now, you're probably really comfortable with that. You're certain that's going to happen. A is autonomy. And so we all like, as people, to have choices. So we say, is it, if we were going to extend it to an hour, we might say, is it okay with you if we do a podcast for an hour today? And people don't necessarily have to be in the room and say yes. It just gives your brain the feeling that it's okay to say no. The next one's relatedness. We like to connect with people. We like to say, hey, we're humans. Hey, we've got this. We both live in the same house. We do this. We both believe in this. We like that. You know, we like to connect on a way. Oh, we both mountain bike. We love fishing. Whatever that is. And then the last one is fairness. There has to be a fair exchange. And if you've ever been ripped off before and you felt like something's not being fair, that's where that comes into it. So, yeah, that's when you understand things like that, they make such a difference, believe it or not, to any relationship, business or not. So values and understanding yours and accepting and understanding other people's are important.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they make people more tolerant. Like risk process, Bob. Like some people are more risk adverse.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to go into a joint venture with somebody who has a really high risk level. If you have they're going
to be nervous all the way.
Yes.
Like if they're scared, not scared, you know what I mean.
If you have a lower risk
risk level, not a high one, a low risk level. Yeah. Alternatively, other people will be more gung ho and willing to take more risks than the other partner.
Have you ever had that, Bob?
No, because any joint ventures I've done, I've made sure that I control matters. It's written into the agreement, so I can't really get overruled. But yeah, you do get like different personalities, and some people can react differently to what they hear. They watched too much 60 Minutes or Current Affairs or news or something, and they react. You've got to calm them down. But I've had a bit of that with people. I meet that even sometimes, in people that we coach. That listen to the noise too much. You have to train them to stop listening to that noise.
There's actually a gap between A and B. A is the action and B is the reaction. Just breathe in between A and B. There's a really good tip. There's a gap, breathe, then have the reaction. I'm probably more likely to react, but I'm pretty good at just thinking about it first generally, but probably faster than you, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, everything you do is faster than me, except, well, I was going to say running 100 metres, but you probably are now.
I don't know.
I'd run out of puff at about 20.
Maybe.
I'd be crawling over the 90-metre mark.
Should we have a running race?
No, not at the moment.
No, my knees aren't being very good at the moment. Too many squats.
Yeah.
And what about past experience, Bob? If you're going to joint venture with somebody, and how important is past experience?
You're talking about experience in development or people's experience in joint ventures, or what?
Both. I'd love to hear your
past experience. Well, a lot of people that want to do joint ventures, I mean, there's all sorts of investors when it comes down to it. Some investors jump into developments without really doing any due diligence. They just get mesmerised by a return or an interest rate. And then, on the other end of the scale are people that suffer from paralysis by analysis.
So number 4, Bob, capacity and resources. People's capacity. And
financial capacity.
Yeah, I think financial, but I also think time capacity.
Yeah. Well, from the I'll say that, the developer's point of view, somebody has to take the lead.
Yeah.
I've sort of alluded to that before when I talked about, say myself. In any joint venture, you can't have people where they're equal in decision making. There can be reporting, can be communication, there can be discussion, but you can reach a stalemate. And you can't do that in property development. Every day is costing hundreds of dollars potentially, or every week hundreds of dollars, depending on the size of the project. Somebody has to have the final say. The way I work it out is that what I call the developer, which is typically the person that might find the project, package it, bring an investor in, that person must have the final say. I have had the odd money partner wanting to have the final say, but they never became a money partner.
Right, that was their request at the start and you've decided against it.
Yeah, just cut them loose.
Yeah.
Because that could never happen. My question to them is...
Do it yourself.
How many projects have you done? Let's put it on the table, and so I can wheel out, 100 or whatever. And so I said, why should I give you the control when you've done none or one or five when I've done 100? And that's true. Like, I couldn't have someone who's done 5 projects telling me what to do. But winding it back, a lot of our students, they might do a joint venture on their first project.
Yeah. So looking at the capacity with time and money.
Yep.
So say somebody, well, that's pretty much a given. We know the answer, and I'm going to assume that some people listening don't. You can be in charge and make the decisions and not have any money in the deal. That's definitely something that happens often, and we work with people every day that do that. But what about the time factor? What if, working it out, you could say, well, my role will be this and I'll spend the time. It brings me to, I suppose I think of Brian and Alex in our mentoring program. And Brian being a builder, he wants to be all over the build part. That will be his decision.
And he should be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's his expertise. And then Alex more on the acquisition side. He loves the numbers and
finance. He
finance.
Likes that due diligence.
Yeah,
he's
a bit of a
sharp on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's back to what we were saying earlier in the bit about comparable skills. You know, each one having their own area of expertise, and that's a great example there. The design and the construction, all that sort of thing. One person, and the other person is that sort of front end, finding the deal, crunch the numbers, doing the DD, and possibly on the back end of marketing as well. So,
I could see his skills being good.
Financially, look, often it's one person is the finance partner, if you like, and the other person is the developer.
Which people often refer to the developer as the working partner.
The working partner.
Yeah. But it's the developer, really.
Well,
they're
both
the
developers if they're both on the title technically. But so working partner's fine if you want to use that expression. Nothing wrong with that. But that's that other one, and that person that actually set up the deal should be the person who has the final say.
Yep.
But then it could be all documented as far as reporting and communication and how that goes on as well, and the level of that. Because some people, I've done projects with somebody who's put the money in, call them an equity partner, a money partner, who really didn't want to know anything.
They're your favourite one.
It's basically wake me up when it's over. Yeah, I
put the money, and here's my bank account. Put the funds in there.
I did some projects with a specialist, a doctor, once, and he didn't want to know about it. Once I put the deal up, here it is. Here's the numbers. Not that he understood the numbers. Let's do it, and he's in. And at the other end, it was all carved up, and everybody's happy, but didn't really want to know. He just concentrated on being an orthopaedic surgeon, as the case was.
And sometimes you're better off just staying in your own lane.
Yeah, and he's happy to stay in that lane. But he loved real estate, and I think he loved the idea of saying that he was a developer. And technically he was, although he didn't do anything development-wise.
But sometimes, Bob, it gives you something to talk about.
I'm sure. I know he talked about it because I met some of his friends, and he used to love to tell them how he was a property developer and doing this, and if you're driving down this street, have a look. That's one I'm doing at the moment, and that's fine. That's good on him. That's okay. But the funny thing is, he never lifted a finger on the development front.
Or
signing contracts, coming up with money, signing finance mortgage documents, signing contracts at the other end. That was his job. You just stick him under his nose.
Just hand him a pen and it was done.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's a perfect money partner, or equity partner.
There you go.
But they're not all like that.
No. And then lastly, does the person with more experience be the developer? And we're saying
it doesn't have to be. I've known some experienced developers who have pretty much retired or semi-retired, and they're happy to be a money partner in a project, and even with people with less experience than themselves, they just don't want to do the work anymore. They want to, go fishing, play golf, go travelling whenever they do, and that's an example of somebody where the person with the money might have the experience, but for particular reasons, e.g., I just don't want to develop anymore. I want other things. They could be just the money partner.
I suppose the other thing, Bob, is what if people come in both new and And
We see that a fair bit.
yeah, they're both reasonably new at development. They come together. Who would be the person who takes over then? Would it go back to the person who found the site? That's how we've started. We've gone through there. Or
Yeah.
it's just a discussion that you
Well,
have before you sign that dotted line.
Sort of technically, but it could be that there's somebody else helping them. Like people within our mentoring program, for instance.
Right.
Where it's not just the developer, it's the developer who's got somebody behind them with experience.
Bob Anderson.
Well, in the case of our mentoring program, yes.
Yeah.
It could be a project manager from outside. It could be us. It could be you and I mentoring somebody. And that, therefore, they get credibility and experience sort of by default. That often makes investors, equity partner, money partners feel a lot more comfortable. Like, say, with a new developer who mightn't have done much, might be even their first project. It gives them that comfort that somebody solid is behind that person. I mean, you and I come across that all
Every
the time.
day. I just didn't want to say it. I'll let you say it.
Oh, okay, thanks. Set me up.
Yeah, we do that every day. Yep. Okay, so the 5 that we came up with today, Bob, were the 5 were identify that that you have a similar vision,
Yep.
that everyone's on the same page. Number 2 was identify the complementary skills and make sure that you understand that you have complementary skills and everyone doesn't have the same skills, and maybe you need to find somebody with different skills. The next one, number 3, was that you have shared values and communication skills and styles.
Keep a happy relationship. It might go on to another 2, 3 or 4 projects.
Yeah, and we do see that a lot, which is fantastic. The capacity, both financial and resource-wise, that could be time, who has the time, who has the money, and then the past experience. So, you know, are
track
they a
record,
first-timer?
whatever.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps it up, Bob. Those are
good
our
conversation.
Those are our 5
Got me thinking.
5 essentials for choosing the right joint venture partner, and all kicked off with fresh bait's the best way to fish.
Yep. Get out there and pump those yabbies.
But I'll let you know how we go after my birthday.
I'll be supplying the yabbies.
Yeah, well,
We might go deep sea fishing. We mightn't even have yabbies yet.
Yeah, I'm not doing yabbies. Anyway, that is the end of episode 106. Johnny Hawkins, your book's in the post. I think I already popped it in the post prior to recording this. But we will catch you next week. There's no other things to talk about.
Only your birthday.
Only my
Sunday.
birthday. And look out for the launch of the Property Accelerator, our new membership coming soon. All right. We will catch you soon.
Okay.
See ya. Hilary Saxton, Bob Anderson, signing out for a Property Mastermind.
Bye for now.
See ya.